We've never been more connected. So why does it feel like we understand each other less? Do you know why? Before social media was a thing, most of us disagreed with only a handful of people in our lives. Now, with just one click, we can disagree with millions. And strangely, the more connected we've become, the more enemies we seem to have. So the question is, how did connection turn into division? Thanks for joining me. I'm Eva Dana, a life coach who has spent years working with people around the world, helping them rediscover what drives them so they can rewrite their story. Somewhere along the way, I realized something that was quite worrying. The more connected we've become, the more difficult it seems it is for us to understand each other. And I find myself faced with a question that wouldn't go away. If we have more access to more information than any generation in history, why is understanding each other harder than ever? This persistent question is the reason why I started this podcast. Welcome to The Identity Maze, a podcast about how humans think, disagree, and form tribes. Each episode begins somewhere different, but it always leads back to the same question. Why do we turn differences into divisions? Because the truth may be simpler than we think. Although we are individuals, we may not be as different as we imagine ourselves to be. The Identity Maze isn't here to fix the world. It's not here to win arguments, and it's definitely not here to give you the comfort of always being right. Instead, it asks something much more uncomfortable. Are our differences really as important as we think? Or have some of those differences been manufactured for us? You're you, I'm me, and somewhere along the way, we decided that's all it takes to make us enemies. But what if the person on the other side of the argument is actually more like you than you'd care to admit? Are they really your enemy? We live in the most connected era in human history, and still, we've never felt more misunderstood. Information travels instantly, empathy travels rather slowly, and certainty spreads faster than the truth. Algorithms reward outrage more than curiosity, which means disagreement slowly turns into identity. So the real question becomes, how do we escape that? Globalization promised connection, but what's the true result of this connection? Is it proximity without understanding? Wars are live streamed, disasters trend for 48 hours, and suffering becomes content. We no longer meet people as individuals first. We meet them as labels, religion, nationality, ideology, and algorithm assigned enemy. Social media didn't invent tribalism, but it sure as heck weaponized it. We see more of the world than ever before, but seeing isn't the same as understanding, and understanding isn't the same as empathy. Somewhere between connection and conversation, we lost something. Religion attempts to answer the question, why do we exist? Science attempts to answer an equally important question, how does the world work? Both are powerful, but neither teaches us how to disagree without turning each other into enemies. And while all this is happening, technology is quietly deciding what we see and what we hear. Neither religion, science, nor technology teach us how to listen. None of them provide us with a constant reminder that we may be more alike than we think. And that's the core issue. Technology connects systems, but it struggles to connect souls. It scales information beautifully, but wisdom? That doesn't scale nearly as easily. The same tools that allow doctors to collaborate across continents also allows misinformation to spread faster than the truth. And momentum without direction, well, that's just chaos. But the problem isn't just technology, it's how humans behave when technology amplifies our impulses. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Connection is not the same as understanding. Access is not the same as empathy. And being heard is not the same as being right. The paradox of our age isn't that we are too different. It's that we may be far more similar than we want to admit, and perhaps even more afraid to discover just that. If the global age is going to mean anything at all, we may need to relearn an old skill. Seeing the human before the headline, the belief before the bias, and the person before the position. Because the next leap forward in human connection won't come from faster technology or louder voices. It will come from something much simpler. Listening. Really listening. And learning to unlearn before we learn again. This podcast won't give you answers, but it will ask questions most of us had stopped asking. Questions like, why do humans form tribes so easily? Why do we defend beliefs that hurt us? And why is it so difficult to change our minds? In the episodes ahead, we'll explore why humans form tribes, why beliefs become identity, and why changing our minds can feel almost impossible. So let's begin. Welcome to the Identity Maze.